Hit one beat at a time, with up in more seasons than mine. Others up, but this must be a sign. Never see me for being too kind. I'm like opposite, step in my ill mind. Ill mind, that's right, I'm sick, but I still provide.
Welcome to Sack City. Your boys Ty and Luchi here to bring you our favorite NFL takes, some hot, and news around the league as it happens. So today, we're going to go over and talk about the Super Bowl. So Luchi, what are your thoughts, man? Congrats.
Yeah, fly Eagles fly. I was expecting a win, but I wasn't expecting a blowout. I'll put it that way. I was not expecting us to put up that many points. For my prediction, I said 27-23. I definitely underestimated the boys. And I'll tell you when I figured out I underestimated the offense. When Jalen Hurts walked out with some Air Force Ones, the band red ones, and it said unbannable on the back. Ooh, I was like, oh, bro is coming out menacing. He came out to warm up in those. I was like, that's crazy. I thought he was going to wear him the whole game. I'm glad he didn't. He would have got fined for that. But
of course,
hey man, that was awesome. He came out in those. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. I don't think anyone really thought it was going to be as much of a blowout. I mean, a blowout in a Super Bowl is rare. You know what I mean? It's two best teams in the league. I mean, what a showcase for the Eagles, man. I mean, the pass rush. No, everybody, pass rush, offensive line, Jalen Hurts, ball, Saquon. So Saquon, they did kind of take him away to an extent, but the problem with the Eagles is to an extent, you can't fully take away Saquon. If you can limit Saquon and quote unquote take him away, right? You're screwed because you got Hurts who can use his legs, obviously. Yep. You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Like you got so many guys in that offense. They're so well balanced. I mean, you just pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean, it's just confusing. They shut him down. Yeah, then bro had like 5 catches too. Like
yeah,
we forgot those yards ever happened. I mean, You know what I mean? He was, I think, what was he? He was almost at 100 yards, all-purpose yards. I want to say he was just under it. In the game. So I mean, he was pretty close. So like bottling him up, cool. I mean, I guess. But then you open it up for AJ. You open it up for Devontae Smith. You open it up for Goddard getting a nice catch. You open it up for Saquon getting a catch.
Jahan Dotson.
I was so hyped for Dotson getting some love. I was afraid he wasn't going to get any more love in the postseason. I was like, oh, he's probably got his yards for the year.
Yeah.
I like him. I hope we keep him. I think we will. He's on contract for next year, so
I mean,
definitely on the team.
The problem is, like you said, if you quote unquote load the box for Saquon, you're screwed. Like, or if you try to take away the receivers, Saquon's going for 160 yards on the ground. So it's like they're so well balanced, and that's like the recipe for a championship team, man. And listen, I'll be the first to say it. I mean, Nick Sirianni, he really is due his flowers, man. He got a lot of hate, and he's a great coach. And people need to start realizing it and talking about it.
The hate's got to be as loud, or the hate's got to be as loud as what the love should be right now for Sirianni. I mean, everyone was so loud about fire him. He's on the hot seat. Get rid of him. Bro, we got to the playoffs and I was like, there's no way that we fire this man anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
He has one of the highest win percentages out of a coach for their first 4 years all time. It's already been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. That's insane.
Wow.
I never understood the hate on Nick Sirianni. I mean, I guess because he's like loud and yelled at the fans. I'm like, cool, whatever. That's Eagles. That's Philadelphia.
So
what do you expect?
People don't like his coaching style. They say he's loud, but I mean, it's whatever he's doing is working. So that at the end of the day, all that matters is he getting the job done, and he is. And he's due I read he's going to get a big extension, a big payday, and he deserves it. He deserves it.
As deserved.
So
he's a good dude. He's just a good dude, I think.
Sirianni? Yeah. He always has his players back, which is what coaches need to do. This is a conversation for a different day, but that's one of the biggest problems I have with Mayo. But
Yep.
Sirianni, man, like he has his players back first and foremost. And he's just he knows how to talk to the players. He knows how to coach them up, and he got the job done. He needs to be respected by the league, man. So let's switch over to the Chiefs. Talk about them because they got a lot of
Okay.
question marks this offseason. Obviously, the lock Andy Reid staying. He already announced that's
Yeah, that's
probably the
big.
most important thing. And then the big question mark we all know the elephant in the room is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
what do you think's gonna happen with him?
I think he should retire. Is he going to though? I think he might now because the Chiefs are kind of forcing his hand. I
Oh,
don't know if you saw that report.
I did.
That report of, hey, we need an answer. March 14th. For what? The draft's not until April, the end of April. Why do you need an answer? I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
You do all that for the team. He's arguably number one or two best tight ends of all time.
absolutely.
And your answer is, hey, hurry up and give us an answer whether you're staying or leaving. It's not like they're going to go draft another tight end. There's not really many tight ends in this draft. And on top of that, they already have their replacement. They have Noah Gray. They don't
Yeah,
need another tight end. So it's
he's
like you
solid
don't
too.
need another draft pick. It's not like you need the draft space. And I'm sorry, the money tied up with Travis Kelce is pretty easy to maneuver around.
And not getting one in free agency, really. I mean, who's there?
No,
So that's what people are thinking. Like they have to know for free agency, but like for what? And I think this is obviously my opinion on this. You could probably agree. I think that little notion by the Chiefs kind of made his decision for him.
yes,
I think he's gonna retire now. I think that
I
that
think
did
he
it for him.
should. He
I mean,
should.
yeah, he doesn't really owe the game anything, man.
No,
Obviously he's gonna be missed because I love watching him play. I know football fans around the world like watching him play. Chiefs fan or not, I know a lot of people that hate the Chiefs hate Kelsey, but that's just the territory. You know what I mean? That's just part of the being a fan of the game sometimes, you know. But I mean, I think he should. He doesn't really owe the game anything else. He's gave it all he has. And he's got his podcast, and I think he can do that full time with with Jason, and dude, they're doing great. So I think he should retire and do that full time.
I wonder, like, does the blowout win make him feel like I need to do another year just to
It
see?
could, it could. I've
And,
been seeing that around too,
yeah,
but it's like that's what makes it so tricky. If they lost, like if they lost not by a blowout, does it does it change the decision? Or if they win, does he go out on top? Like there's so much. You know what I mean? There's so much to think about here for him. And that's why I think, and most people think he should take his time with this, but now he's getting rushed.
I
Because I
just
saw on
hate that he's
TV,
being rushed.
yeah,
It's
I
just
saw on TV
stupid.
someone said that, a former player, I forget who it was. They said, when you come off the win, it takes a week or two. You have raw emotions. Your decision making is not always right. And then you know what? He doesn't want to make a quick decision, regret it. That's why he should take his time. But now, like we said a few times, he's being rushed. So if I was him, I would be super disappointed and I would probably retire after that.
I just wonder, does he go, could I do more? Like, do I have the opportunity to do more here? And I think he could, but I'll be honest, it's hard for me not to see a collapse happening for them. Kind of leads into our next topic of how much do we think there's going to be a rematch? What
Mm.
odds do we think of a rematch? I'm be
Yeah.
honest, I don't think
Zero.
it's going to happen. No, I don't think twice in a row.
And then, I do think Pat will be back eventually. I mean, he'll be
Oh
back
yeah.
eventually, I think more than once. But that's a good point. You know who could be a sneaky team to go back next year? If they
Mm.
have the right offseason, they spend some money as the Bengals because their offense is so all they need is to improve their O line a little bit, but their defense was so bad. It sold them like so bad last year. If they can really, I mean, they have to get the work. There's a lot of work to be done, but
There's a lot there.
if they can go, maybe they'll go get like a Josh Sweat. Even though we were talking about earlier, we'll talk about him again. Maybe the Bills land him, like you said earlier. But there's some guys out there, pieces out there, trade candidates, free agents. They need to start building that defensive line, and that defensive back room. So if they can do that, I think they're definitely a playoff team. They're going to make the playoffs next year. I mean, they're not going to miss it again. unless something drastic happens with the offense, you know. But I think the Bengals could be a sleeper team next year for real to make the Super Bowl. It would be
My
cool.
question is
What's that?
what's their draft like? What is their picks for this year or this upcoming year? I just don't know. I don't know what picks they have to be able to retool that defense. And I don't know if they have the money to retool that defense. They're already struggling for money with
With
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
yeah.
That's a tough one.
Well, I think T's gonna leave. They're not gonna resign him because they got to resign Henderson. He's their number two priority beside behind obviously Chase. I mean, he's their best. He was their only good defensive player. I mean, I can think of. You know, there's probably some other guys, but Trey Henderson's their guy on defense. They got to bring him back.
Yeah. So I'm looking at their picks right now. They have almost their full amount of picks except for their 7th round,
Mm-hmm.
but they have the 17th pick in the first round.
You know who they could probably
17th
get that I think
overall.
would be a good pick for them? I think Mike Green. He's a defensive end.
He's Marshall. He's from
Marshall, thank you. Yeah. I think
Um,
he should be the
yeah.
pick for them if he's there.
I don't know, man. There's just so much that they need. I mean, he's
Yeah.
6'3", 251. That's pretty nice for an edge.
Yeah, he's
Um,
quick. He's quick. I mean, he's a little
they,
shorter, kind of, because edges now. I mean, not really. Edges. I feel like
6'3" is a pretty
yeah,
normal height, I feel
yeah,
like.
it's good. Yeah,
Those corners are rough. That secondary is
yeah,
rough.
dude, they got lit up.
They get blown out. What was it? Devontae Smith blew them out.
Oh yeah,
I think didn't the Commanders play them and Terry got got a hold of that secondary. It was
yeah.
over. I mean,
They need a secondary badly.
ooh,
I
they're
think
gonna have to make
that is
some moves.
probably their number one priority is a secondary.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to make some moves. I think they'll go get a corner or a safety in the first
Mm-hmm.
round. Mike Green is probably a good pick if they don't do that, and they're
If they don't do
wanting
that,
up
yeah,
front and they want trenches. Trenches is rough for them because they have no O line. uh, I feel like Joe Burrow is always running for his life,
mm.
and that kind of went back to what we've talked about before. How many times is he going to have to get injured before they actually start putting an offensive line in front of him that doesn't allow him to get injured?
Yeah,
He's
seriously.
always injured. He's always injured. If at least it feels like it. It feels like he's always getting hit, and I feel bad for him at this
Yeah.
point. I know the Eagles put a little bit of hurt on him too. Like
Oh yeah. He's
he had
being
an
getting
interview.
rocked.
He had an interview recently. He was like his welcome to the NFL moment was Fletcher Cox hitting him, or one of the Eagles players in his rookie year hitting him,
Oh my
and that was
gosh.
his welcome to the NFL moment. He was
Fletcher
like,
Cox,
I
man.
did not have any air.
Yeah, no, it's probably Fletcher Cox, man. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
I
guy you
mean
do not want to
nasty.
get hit by, especially your one of your first hits of the in the NFL. So, who are three teams that we think in the AFC and NFC that could play in the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game? Who do you think's going to go in the NFC? Three possible teams.
NFC. I, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say Eagles.
Yeah, I mean that's
Reshape and keep going.
mhm.
They don't really have to do too much work on that. They're kind of just a lot of their players are already on contract. Their offense is pretty much secure. Um, as much as I hate it because I'm an Eagles fan, I also have to give acknowledgement and love to the Commanders because I think they're probably gonna make it.
Yeah.
I could see Eagles versus Commanders in the NFC Championship again. My third would probably be Lions.
Mm.
I would think that maybe the Lions beat the Commanders this time, or they maybe don't have to play the Commanders. Maybe they force. I don't know how the seedings would work, but maybe like the Lions get to dodge the Commanders. They face the Eagles instead. They either lose or win, whatever. But in the NFC Championship game, I could definitely see Lions, Commanders, Eagles, a combination of them, two of those teams, a combo of that somewhere in that Final Four, with maybe an honorable mention to like the Packers. I think that the Rams look like they're gonna just clean house. It looks like they're trying to get rid of
Mm.
Stafford. Don't
And
know
Cup.
why. And Cup's going. I don't
Yeah,
know
Cup's
what they're
gone.
doing
Yeah.
with that. That was weird. It looks like they're gonna implode. So that kind of opens up for the Packers. Those are the 14. I mean, I know you asked for three, but I think there's
No, I'm
really
gonna list
four
four
there.
too because I'm having a problem with it now. So for me, I mean, obviously Eagles. That's first and foremost. I mean, um, I think the Eagles, like you said, Commanders. I mean, I think they're going to get better. Lions, I do think I don't know how much better they'll get. Obviously, they're getting healthy next year. They're gonna have like Hutchinson back. Um, but I really like. I think the Niners have a chance to go back. They were so banged up. People forgot about the Niners, and I think the Niners, once they get healthy, I think CMC back. Hopefully, he's close to the same as he was. I'm not sure, but obviously, an Ayuk back, Trent Williams, some of the defensive pieces. So I think the Niners could be that team to go back next year and play probably the Eagles. I think the Eagles will go back to championship game next year. But it's going to be Eagles versus one of those three teams for sure.
Okay.
Now, what do you think for the AFC?
AFC's tough.
Yeah.
I know I just said I think the Chiefs are they're gonna have some kind of collapse. That doesn't mean I don't think they're gonna be like somewhat in the mix. I just don't think that they're going to the Super Bowl again. They're definitely not my number one. I think it's probably the Bills. I
agree.
We forget like without a true number one receiver.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper was a no-show in all the games except for like one that when he got traded there. They had rookies who are only getting better. I think Kincaid, he's gonna get better.
Yeah.
That old line is good. James Cook is gonna keep on doing James Cook things. I mean, he's not bad. The only thing that they're working on is really defense. And they're not as far off as what I think people believe they are. They only lost by what? Well, it was what, 29-31? That's not like they were that far away from getting to the Super Bowl this year. So I think Bills, Ravens. The Ravens are scary because Lamar is scary, and I love Lamar, but I don't know about that defense, and it's kind of suspect. But I think that they'll somehow get in the mix as well. So I'm going to go Bills, Ravens. I'm going to say Chiefs, and against my better judgment, I'll probably say the Bengals as the number 4. Only because Joe is crazy.
Yeah. He's not going to miss they're not going to miss the playoffs again.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. That's probably exactly. That's probably my exact list. Like you said about the Ravens defense, I mean, it's crazy because they got some good pieces in the backfield, but their defense was ranked like bottom 3 almost all year. I mean, their defense, their pass defense was ranked. Their run defense was top 3, but their pass defense was bottom 3. And that, in the playoffs, man, you got some of these teams are so explosive. I mean, they got to fix that for next year. And if they do fix that, who knows? I like the Bills. Any of those 4 teams, man, but I like the Bills the most, probably. I agree. I think the Bills, they'll get better for sure. They're not going to be where they are now. They're going to get better. They're going to get a number 1 because you're talking about Amari Cooper. Yeah. And you know how I think was their number 1 technically was Shakir, which is I love Shakir. No disrespect.
Crazy.
I love Shakir, but when you think of Khalil Shakir, you don't think of a number 1 wide receiver. You know what I mean? So
right.
they're going to get somebody. Think of like a slot guy that's a safety blanket, whatever, but not like the dominant piece. It's hard to get a dominant piece, but if the Bills can get one, what's that?
If they go for Cup?
It's possible.
That's a crazy idea, but like I just thought of that and I was like, wait, you just
I didn't think about that
earlier,
one.
And I didn't think about that, but they could go get Cup. Like that kind of solves their problem.
That'd be cool to see him go there.
You know what? I'd love to see him in a Bills uniform. I can't lie. That'd be clean.
Cup and Josh would be amazing, dude. Ooh, I don't care. People say Cup's old. He's been injured. Dude, if he goes to the Bills, he's going to put up 1,000-yard season.
Oh, my gosh.
Sure. And that may not be a hot take. It may be a hot take to some people. I don't think it is.
1,000 is low. I think he's way over that.
Yeah, he's put up 1,000, man. I hear people talking about him like he's gonna go to a team to retirement home. He's gonna put a 400-500. Dude, Cooper Kupp is gonna be a baller. I think wherever he goes, man, and I think if he goes to a bit like you said, Buffalo.
I didn't think about that until literally.
We would have to face him twice a year. He torches us every time we play him.
Oh man, that would be horrible. I'm so sorry.
So one thing that I wasn't a fan of that was kind of all over social media throughout the year was the hate that Jalen Hurts was getting. I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not now, especially not now. So, what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? What does this game mean for him?
I'm gonna make this real personal. Okay, we're gonna look right in the camera for this. He's elite, and if you want to argue against that, talk with the wall. He's number 2 in the league right now. I know, crazy, woo, but I pick winners. Sorry, like there's no one else that's winning. What do you want me to say? Like he actually does the things to win. They ask him to throw the ball, and he does. The NFC conference, and then the Super Bowl. They said, you need to throw the ball. The Chiefs' game plan was, Jalen Hurts, please throw the ball. And he said, bet. And he did. And he won. And he played well. He had one bad play pretty much the entire game. I don't understand the hate. I never have. Just because he's not doing it doesn't mean he's not going to do it or that he cannot do it. It doesn't make any sense. The logic doesn't make sense because the same people who talk crap about Jalen Hurts are the same people who will tell you or have told you that Trevor Lawrence was going to be elite. What are we talking about here?
I remember
Dude,
that.
Trevor Lawrence isn't even good. And they're the same people that said he was better than Jalen Hurts. I don't understand it. And I'm sorry. I love Joe Burrow. We did a whole thing hyping up Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. I give them their flowers. I like them a lot. Trust, I'm a huge fan of all three of them. They are not better than Jalen Hurts. Joe Burrow, injured. I can't rank him based off of when he's not in the game. And Josh Allen, I love him to death, but dude, you got to beat the Chiefs eventually.
You're talking about, they forced Hurts to throw. I'll tell you that the dagger, man, that ball to Devontae Smith. Oh my gosh, that was, as the game was going on, we've seen this before with the Chiefs, but it's like when it was 17-0, I'm like, hey, I'm not singing yet, I'm not. But after that big play to Devontae Smith, that was it, man. And that was such a screw you play. You know what I mean? Oh.
Did you hear the mic'd up version?
No, I need to.
Oh man, they had Nick Sirianni mic'd up on the sideline. And
really,
when that play was coming up, Kellen Moore looked at me and said, You want to take he goes, you call that play, we score a touchdown, this game is over. Call it.
It's over. Yeah, I don't just call it. Just call it.
Wow, I gotta watch that.
Literally went up to Kellen Moore and said, "Call it."
I gotta watch that mic'd up segment
right here. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
So for me, for Hurts, the highest I'll give him, and this is the highest I think is 5. The reason being is I just truly think, I know he just won the Super Bowl, and this sounds weird, but I don't. How do I say this? It's hard for me after one Super Bowl to put guys up above MVP guys and this and that, because everyone's situation is different, because Jalen Hurts, love Jalen Hurts, hate the hate he got. I think he's an elite quarterback. He is. I just think if put it this way, if I feel like if Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, I'm gonna keep Pat out of this because obviously if any of those 3 guys are on the Eagles, I think they win as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree on that.
It's okay, yeah. So you don't think so? If Josh Allen was on the Eagles for the Super Bowl, you don't think that they would won?
No.
Why?
We just saw him lose to the Chiefs.
Yeah, but I mean the different situations. The Eagles had the number 1 running back, the number 1 offensive line, number 1 defense, a good coach. You think if they put the MVP Josh Allen on that team, they're not going to win?
It's tough, but I've also seen Jalen Hurts take a team that didn't have all that stuff to the playoffs. Go to the playoffs against the Bucs. Yes, they lost to Tom Brady, but it was Tom Brady. And that defense was horrible.
So news that has been circling is the Jets have announced that they are parting ways with Aaron Rodgers this offseason. So let's do this again. Another year of this. Where is Rodgers playing, or is he retiring? What do you think?
So we kind of talked about some good places he could go. But he just needs to retire. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Unless he's going to the Vikings to be a part of the prophecy of the Favre prophecy, he needs to just retire.
Fall in the
Bro
footsteps.
just needs to retire, man. It's been time. Okay. I like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like to judge people based off of their decisions, but at the same time, some of these decisions feel like they are being done in haste. I don't know that the Jets was a good spot for him to begin with. I thought he should have gone to a different team. I don't
I thought the
think that
Niners were
going.
going to get him. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah, dude, the Niners would have been better for him.
Yeah.
Hey, like he's got to have a coach and someone that can be like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the game plan, and we want you a part of that game plan. And here's how. That's how you communicate. And I just don't think Robert Saleh did that to begin with. But I also don't think that past that, like the ownership goes, hey, Rodgers, do whatever you want, and we don't care. You're getting us tickets. Is what it felt like. It is a persona that came across, at least.
I saw the Steelers, obviously, the name's obviously thrown around. Their name is being thrown around everywhere now. I
Yeah,
saw
they
it
were
being
trying to
thrown
get Trevor
around.
Lawrence.
Yeah, for Lawrence. That's not happening.
No.
And then I saw Colin Cowherd.
Oh, Cowherd. Oh,
He's got pitches absurd, quote unquote, absurd Rams Aaron Rodgers trade scenario.
why did the Rams want to
It says
hurt themselves?
scenario in
bro?
which the New York Giants trade the number 3 overall pick in the draft for Matthew Stafford in Los Angeles Rams, bringing 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers short-term replacement. Oh my gosh. I did watch it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said the Giants should give the Rams the number 3 overall pick for Rodgers. I'm sorry, for Stafford.
So the Rams trade Matthew Stafford for the third
Giants.
overall pick from the Giants. They then sign Aaron Rodgers in free agency.
Yes. So it's not as crazy as I originally thought, but it's just such a curveball. You know what I mean?
And then they're gonna use the third round pick not to pick anyone, but to stockpile picks for next year.
Yes, to move back up for a quarterback next year.
Actually, I hope this all happens because then I know the perfect team for the Rams to trade the number 3 pick to.
Your guys.
You're gonna hate me. The Eagles.
And then you can get, say with me, Abdul Carter.
Dude,
hey,
we have the stockpile of picks too.
We should contact Colin Cowherd and say, send a few texts, buddy. We got.
Hey, Cowherd. Hey, man, we'll help you out. Look, man. Hey, all I'm saying is it's not a crazy idea. The trade's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be, but also shout out Colin Cowherd. Because if that is true and that happens, then the Eagles could be the ones to trade for the 3rd overall pick so we can get Abdul Carter. And it won't matter because then we will have absolutely the best defense in the NFL by far. It won't even be close.
I actually kind of like that. So let's recap. For the people watching. So the Rams trade Stafford to the the Rams trade Stafford to the Giants for number 3 overall.
Yep.
The Rams get number 3 overall.
Yep.
The Rams sign Aaron Rodgers to a 1 to 2 year deal. A rental. The Rams take that 3rd overall pick, trade back, and get picks for next year so they can trade back up to get the quarterback of the future, hopefully next year. So your team, the Eagles, they're probably lose Josh Sweat to free agency, which is okay.
Yep.
They could be the team, like you just said, to trade up, get the number 3 overall pick, and draft Abdul Carter. Holy cow. I think the code is cracked. I think the code is cracked here.
Bro, if
Abdul Carter, you are an Eagle.
He wants to be an Eagle so bad, bro.
We got to contact him. That's how he becomes an Eagle.
Hey, I'm going to tell him, hey, man, hey, look. I need you to tell them you don't want to play for the Giants so that the Giants feel more comfortable of trading it to the Rams. And then tell the Rams, I definitely don't want to play for y'all. Then they can force the trade to the Eagles.
This is the one.
So stupid.
Abdul Carter, you are a Philadelphia Eagle. Congrats, man.
You've heard it here first at Sack City Show.
Let's go. Abdul Carter, you going to buy his jersey?
No. Oh, you already know. Dude, I have a Jalen Carter jersey. I'll have an Abdul Carter jersey. Come on. So that's going to wrap things up, guys. You know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you throw some love our way. And as always, it's good to see you.
We'll see you in the next one.